What if I told you that a cluttered desk in a Swiss patent office was the birthplace of some of humanity's biggest ideas? And what if the man behind it, Albert Einstein, didn't redefine our understanding of the universe through sheer brute force or by working more hours than everyone else? Most of us live in a state of constant, low-grade distraction. You sit down to work on something important, and within minutes, your brain is pulled in a dozen different directions. The phone buzzes, an email pops up, a random thought about dinner derails your focus. You spend hours feeling busy, but at the end of the day, you've accomplished almost nothing. We mistake this fragmented effort for hard work, but it's a losing battle. But what if there was another way? A way to find a state of mind where distractions just fade away, where time seems to bend, and where you produce your best work almost effortlessly. This isn't a myth, and it isn't reserved for geniuses. Neuroscientists call it flow, a scientifically validated state of peak performance. The problem is, no one ever taught us how to get there. So, let's pull back the curtain. While Einstein never wrote down a formal method, the way he worked points to principles of deep focus that modern science is just now codifying. We're going to break down a four-step framework, grounded in modern neuroscience and inspired by the habits of top performers to help you access this state on demand. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could fundamentally change how you work. So what exactly is this state we call flow? You've probably been there before. Maybe it was playing a sport where the game just slowed down. Maybe it was a deep conversation where the world melted away. Or maybe it was a hobby you love, where hours felt like minutes. At its heart, flow is a state of total absorption. It's where your focus is so complete that everything else, the room around you, your anxieties, your to-do list, simply disappears. Your inner critic goes silent, and your performance, whether it's mental or physical, skyrockets. The researchers who first studied flow found a critical key. The challenge of what you're doing has to be perfectly balanced with your skill level. It can't be so easy that you get bored, and it can't be so hard that you get anxious. Flow lives on that razor's edge, right at the limit of your abilities. But this is more than a feeling, it's a neurological event. When you enter flow, your brain is flooded with a powerful cocktail of performance-enhancing chemicals. You get dopamine and norepinephrine for focus, anandamide for creative connections, and endorphins that leave you feeling calm and satisfied. It's the most powerful focus drug known to man, and your brain makes it for free. At the same time, your brain waves actually slow down from the high-alert beta state into the calmer alpha and theta ranges, the same brain waves found during meditation and deep sleep. And maybe most importantly, the part of your brain responsible for that nagging inner voice, the default mode network, quiets right down. That self-critic who constantly doubts you is temporarily taken offline, freeing up a massive amount of mental energy for the task at hand. Flow isn't magic, it's a biological process you can train. Modern researchers like Stephen Kotler have spent decades decoding this process, and they've given us a roadmap built on 4 pillars. We're going to break down each one. Before you can build a state of peak performance, you have to get rid of what's destroying it. Trying to find flow in a distracting environment is like trying to build a house on quicksand. The first pillar is all about systematically killing your flow blockers. A flow blocker is anything that shatters your attention. And in our world, one blocker stands above all others: your smartphone. Every notification, every buzz, every vibration is a tiny attack on your focus. You might think a quick glance at a text is harmless, but the neuroscience is clear. Each time you switch tasks, you trigger something called attention residue. A part of your mind stays stuck on what you just looked at, meaning you never bring your full brain power back to what you were doing. Constantly checking your phone or email is why so many of us feel busy but not productive. Our focus is so fragmented that we can never build the momentum needed for deep work. So what's the fix? A simple but non-negotiable rule: flow before phone. For the first 2 or 3 hours of your workday, The phone doesn't exist. It's off, in another room, in a drawer. You dedicate this sacred, uninterrupted time to your most important task. This is when your brain is freshest and your willpower is highest. By protecting this time, you give yourself the best possible shot at dropping into flow. But the phone is just the start. You have to become the ruthless architect of a distraction-free space. Close the unnecessary browser tabs, turn off desktop notifications, put a sign on your door, or wear noise-cancelling headphones. Imagine your focus is a deep, still lake. Every interruption is a stone thrown in, sending ripples everywhere. You can't find clarity in constantly disturbed water. Pillar 1 is about stopping the stones from being thrown. It's about creating profound quiet, not just in your ears but for your mind. Once you've cleared away the distractions, the next step is to prime your mind and body to want to enter flow. This is the second pillar, increasing your flow proneness. Your ability to focus isn't fixed. It's a skill you can build with your daily habits. One powerful tactic begins the moment you wake up. Some productivity experts champion a 90-second rule, and the principle behind it is solid science. The idea is to start your most important work within roughly 90 seconds of your feet hitting the floor. When you first wake up, your mind is in a unique transitional state. You haven't been hit with the day's distractions yet. Your mind is a clean slate. By immediately pointing that pristine focus at your top priority, you bypass the procrastination that sets in after you check your phone or get lost in morning chores. You're telling your brain, this is what matters today, before anything else can compete for its attention. Of course, this morning ritual relies on a foundation of other habits. The most critical is sleep. During deep sleep, your brain cleans out metabolic waste. Without enough of it, that waste builds up, causing brain fog and poor focus. High-quality sleep is simply not negotiable for peak performance. Next are nutrition and hydration. Your brain is an energy hog. Even slight dehydration can wreck your cognitive function, and a diet of processed junk leads to energy crashes. Fueling your brain with clean, stable energy is like putting premium gas in a race car. Finally, there's regular exercise. Physical activity has been shown to boost BDNF, a protein that's like fertilizer for your brain cells, helping you grow new neurons. It also burns off stress hormones, making it easier to find that calm, focused state flow requires. Think of it like preparing soil. You can have the best seed in the world, but it won't grow in dry, nutrient-poor dirt. By optimizing your sleep, nutrition, exercise, and morning routine, you're creating a rich internal environment where flow can finally take root. With the blockers gone and your mind prepared, it's time to pull the levers that actually ignite the flow state. This is the third pillar, activating the flow triggers. These are concrete conditions that tell your brain it's time to get serious. 3 of them are absolutely essential. First, and most important, intensely clear goals. You cannot find flow in ambiguity. Your brain needs to know exactly what to do. Vague goals like work on the project are an invitation to procrastinate. A clear goal is a laser pointer for your attention. Instead of write the report, try draft the 500-word introduction, citing 3 key studies in the next hour. This clarity eliminates indecision and channels all your mental energy in one direction. The second trigger is immediate feedback. Your brain craves a tight loop between your actions and their results. It's why video games are so addictive. You act and you get instant feedback, points, a sound, a visual effect. This constant stream of information tells you if you're on the right track and keeps you engaged. You can build this into your work. A word count gives a writer immediate feedback. For a coder, the program either runs or it doesn't. Create your own feedback loops with simple checklists. Each ticked box is a small hit of dopamine, a signal of progress that tells your brain to keep going. The third trigger is the challenge skills balance. As we said, flow happens when a task pushes you right to the edge of your abilities. Productivity experts often cite the 4% rule, a heuristic suggesting the sweet spot is a task that's roughly 4% more challenging than your current skill level. If the challenge is too low, you get bored. If it's too high, you get anxious, and the resulting stress blocks flow. Mastering this is an art. If a task feels too easy, add a constraint, like a tighter deadline or a higher standard for the output. If it feels overwhelming, break it down into smaller pieces, until you find one that feels hard but doable. These 3 triggers, clear goals, immediate feedback, and the challenge skills balance, work together to tell your brain it's time to drop in. The final pillar is the one most people get wrong. Flow isn't a light switch, it's a 4-stage cycle. Learning to navigate this cycle is the key to making flow a reliable part of your life. The first stage is called struggle, and let's be honest, this is where most of us give up. When you first tackle a hard problem, your brain has to load all the relevant information. It's hard work, it feels like friction, you feel frustrated, and the urge to check your phone or grab a snack is overwhelming. But here's the secret. This struggle isn't a sign that you're failing. It is a mandatory prerequisite for flow. You can't get to the peak without the climb. The mistake is misinterpreting this discomfort as a signal to stop. People hit the struggle, feel the friction, and retreat to a distraction, forcing them to start the painful process all over again later. If you can just push through that initial discomfort, you hit stage 2, release. This is where you briefly let go, take a short walk, look out the window, take a few deep breaths. This momentary break allows the stress hormones to recede and the flow-starting chemicals to rise. This release acts as a slingshot into stage 3, flow. This is the peak experience, effortless focus, peak performance. You're riding the wave you earned by pushing through the struggle. But the cycle isn't over. The final stage is recovery. A deep flow state is incredibly energy-intensive. Your brain's resources are depleted. Recovery is about actively replenishing them with good nutrition, light activity, and especially a good night's sleep. This is also when your brain consolidates what you've learned. Ignoring recovery is a recipe for burnout. You can't sprint a marathon. By embracing the struggle, consciously releasing, riding the flow, and prioritizing recovery, you can stop just hoping for focus and start systematically creating it. If you want to go deeper into the science of peak performance, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss what's coming next. We started with that image of Einstein, seemingly pulling the secrets of the universe from thin air. What we've learned is that the state of mind he and other great thinkers accessed isn't some superpower. Flow is our biological birthright, and it's a skill available to every one of us. The framework to build it is clear. First, become a guardian of your focus by eliminating distractions. Second, build your readiness for flow by engineering your biology with smart routines and solid sleep. Third, intentionally trigger the state using clear goals, immediate feedback, and the delicate balance of challenge and skill. And finally, learn to master the full 4-stage cycle, understanding that struggle is the gateway, not the roadblock. The move from chronic distraction to effortless achievement isn't about a single hack. It's about redesigning your relationship with your work and your own mind. It's about building a life that is intentionally structured to support deep focus. The potential is already in you. Now you have a map to unlock it.